again, everyone. I hope you're all doing super well at home, breathing consciously, getting on your mat slots, leaning into your practice. Today's class is a bit more of a simplicity in terms of it's just a deep stretch. So perhaps not in the yin style, we're not going to be necessarily passive in our stretches. We're going to be a little bit more active in them, so making sure that you're really engaging in the stretches, but we are going to be holding for a little bit longer than we usually would do in any flows or vinyasa sequences. The majority of the class is going to be seated or sort of low level base as well. Make sure that you have blocks, straps, cushions, pillows, anything that can support you, bring the earth a little bit closer is perfect for today's class. And also, if you have any niggles, any injuries, just be super mindful as always. You know your body better than I do. So if something feels a little bit too deep, or you're going into a stretch and there's pain there, just gently move out of it, release, and come back into a posture that suits you for your body type and for how you're feeling in this very moment. So as always, I like to kind of give a little bit of a theme to our practice, and today's theme is one of the Niyamas, which is one of the limbs of yoga, and that Niyama is Tapas. And this Tapas is about having devotion to your practice today, is how we're going to kind of channel it through. So the idea of that is that it's having that fire in your belly and that fire to be able to last in something. So not only in today's practice, but for perhaps your devotion to your entire yoga practice and the commitment and the devotion that you bring to it. And if we think about just in today's practice itself, just about how you can stay in those postures and hold them, be steady in them, hold them for that a little bit longer than you usually would do. So stay in there, stick with it, devote yourself to the postures and devote yourself to today's practice. We're going to start with some breath work. So coming into your comfortable seat, if you have a block, just drop that underneath your sitting bones. Sit lovely and tall. Have a little bit of a roll back of both shoulders just to relax, perhaps move the neck. And then begin to turn the palms to face down. Chin ever so softly into your chest, so the back of the spine, the neck lengthens, and close down the eyes. Perhaps you just take a couple of exhales out in the mouth to release and to let go, to surrender, and then begin to purse the lips together, just coming into your nasal breathing. And you may already have that instinct to leave this posture, but again, coming back to our theme today, stick with it, settle in, and let the breath do the work. Start to lengthen and elongate the breath all the way into your belly center on the inhale, expanding, and on the exhale, drawing the belly in. We're going to come into a box breath, which is a really lovely balancing breath, calming breath. The inhalation for 4, holding the breath for 4, exhaling for 4, and retaining, holding the breath again for 4. If you'd like to, you're welcome to turn the palms to face upwards, come into Chi Mudra, or again just find softness with the hands into the lap, totally up to you. Taking a full inhale through the nose and an exhale out of the nose. On the inhale, breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath, retain for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, inhaling for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose and sigh, exhale out of the mouth. Chin to chest, bowing the head. Perhaps set your intention, your purpose for today's practice. You're welcome to keep the eyes closed or begin to flutter those eyelids open. And we're just going to start with some nice easy neck rolls. So this is a deep stretch today, so we're going to be working and holding into the stretches for a little bit longer than we usually would do. So as you take that right ear towards your right shoulder, just hold it there, opening up the side of the neck, the rotator cuff into the shoulder. And then when you're ready, drop chin to chest, round through the spine, all the way over, left ear to left shoulder. Opening through the right side of the neck, the rotator cuffs. Rounding all the way through, chin to chest and holding. See if you can go that little bit further. Try and keep that left shoulder blade down, left shoulder down. And then roll all the way through to the other side of that last time. When you're ready, just come all the way back through to center. You can stay on your block, or perhaps you're on a cushion, or you can just remove that to the side there. When you're ready, just change the cross of your legs if you'd like to. Come to sit tall again. Give the shoulders a nice roll back and down, and then you're just going to lift the head slightly so the chin is parallel with the mat. From there, start to walk your right hand over to the side, lengthen through the left arm and come into that side bend. You can soften through the right elbow. Try and make sure that you have space from the ears to the shoulder and keep drawing that left knee down. Gaze can be up at the fingertips or down at that right hand. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep holding there. Palms facing down, pinky finger just rotating as well, so you get that extra stretch underneath the armpit. You're just going to push gently up onto those right fingertips a little bit more. Keeping this right knee in, you're going to begin to release the left leg if you can, keeping that left arm up and come into that saddle stretch, a dragonfly stretch. So holding there, you're going to bend over to that right side again. See if you can drop the forearm down. Perhaps the forearm comes onto a block or onto your cushion. Holding there. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Like a cartwheel, you're going to start to move yourself all the way over, dropping the hands over to the other side. And as you do that, you can press the right knee away. Keep the hand going all the way up, or you can drop yourself down over onto that leg on the left hand side. So work with what feels good here. You might just want to keep opening up through the side body, or if your hamstrings are a little bit tighter, perhaps the low back is, you can come into that stretch. And we've got enough time here, a full 5 breaths, maybe even a little bit longer to work through either of those stretches. Hand back down perhaps and open up through the side body again. Dropping back down, last 2 breaths. Body over that left leg. Taking hold of the calf muscle, softening through the knee if you need to. Feeling the stretch on the lower back on that left side. And then when you're ready, begin to round up through the spine. Crossing the legs once again, perhaps you take the opposite cross. And then this time the left hand begins to go down, and the right arm goes over the head. Again, you can stay up onto the fingertips, keeping that right hip down this time. Gaze is up to the fingertips, down at the left hand, holding there. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to loosen through that right leg, extend it all the way out. Perhaps you go a little bit lower. You flex through the foot that little bit more and you reach over to the right hand side that little bit more, lifting up and out of the hip on the left side, placing that right hip down. And then you're going to cartwheel the arms over to the other side. So right arm down, left arm over. And again, there's a tendency, you can see my leg on that left side wanting to lift. Try and make it active so you're pressing down, flexing through the right toes. The gaze can be up at the fingertips or down towards the right hand, the right fingertips again. Holding it through the side body. Or again, you can just drop yourself over onto the right leg. Keep coming back into your breath, moving slowly with intention today as always. If you need longer in any of these postures, perhaps longer in one side than the other, you can always press pause and come back. Inhaling and exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps dropping the right hand back down to the mat to the side, reaching that left arm all the way back up and over the head. And then as you cartwheel the arms back through, you're going to slide that right leg back into a cross leg. Now if cross leg just isn't working for you, you can always come into hero's pose, your Virasana. And from there we're going to take a real simple forward fold. Of course, if more of a square pose works for you, knee on top of knee, you can come straight into that. It might be too early for that stretch for you. So you can keep the cross leg, hands behind you, a nice straight back, and then begin to lower through. As you get so far, you can feel that in the hips, lower back. You can walk those hands forwards and come into that forward fold. Bowing the head, stretching the fingertips, away from the body, chin slightly tucked into chest. And then begin to move yourself over the body, the torso, over onto that right thigh. And again, as we take that lateral stretch, try and keep this left hip down. And you're going to feel that all the way through, or you should feel that through the left side of the body. You might be a little bit higher up, and that's all good, working with a bit more of a twist. And then begin to move yourself over to the left-hand side. Dropping through the right hip, the right knee rolling out. Keep the toes fairly active here, flexing. And as you come back through center, plant down through the hands. Roll yourself over onto the knees. Drop yourself back into child's pose and peel those fingertips and the hands upwards. When you're ready, begin to rise, coming up onto all fours and come straight into your cat stretch. Curling the toes under if that feels good. Drawing the belly in, pressing through the fingertips. Again, make this super, super active. From there, you're going to walk your handprint, or hands one handprint away, and push away. Chin into chest, gaze is right at the belly. Trying to round through the spine as much as you can. As you move your weight forwards, begin to allow the hips to drop. And it might just be that you come to there today just to start off with, and that's enough for the lower back. You might be able to release the toes and come straight into that king cobra. Or you might feel like it's a little bit too much and you just come into baby cobra. From there, we're going to work our way back into cat stretch and then down into a child's pose. So curl the toes under, lift through, press through the fingertips and push back. So there's weight into the heels here, into the hips, pressing away, release the toes and drop back into child's pose. A full stretch, so the hands are a lot further away than they usually would be. So if you can get right underneath the armpits. Inhale, lift, begin to curl the toes. And again, press through, really active, almost like on a diagonal through the back and the shoulders. And then move your weight forwards, allowing the hips to drop. Come into the variation of the back bend and the back extension that works for you. Shoulders away from the ears. Again, perhaps it's a low cobra or a sphinx. And as you push back, tuck the tailbone under, curl the toes, press away, chin into chest, release the toes and drop yourself down into your child's pose. So really working with intention, purposeful in every posture, breathing in, breathing out, inhale, exhale. As you round and come all the way up this time, start to draw the hands that little bit closer. From there, you're going to start to draw that right heel back and you're going to press firmly into that foot and drop that right hip down. So a strong calf stretch, a stretch for the Achilles as well. From there, you're going to sweep that right leg out to the side and continue to press through it. So a little bit more of a stretch onto the outside, the IT band, maybe even a little bit into your glute. And really, really firmly press away. Drawing the belly in, breathing in, and breathing out. Start to sweep the right leg all the way back and drop that knee down. Belly in, sliding the left foot back, and again, firmly press down through that heel. You might even transition your weight backwards this time, so the shoulders moving back. And then slide that foot to the outside. Hold it there. Dropping that left hip down as much as you can so you get the stretch on the outside of the hip. Inhaling and exhale. Firmly pressing through the top of the foot of the right side as well, lifting up and out of your shoulders rather than sinking and bending the elbows, keep lifting away. And then as you slide the foot back and the knee back, just drop yourself back onto a variation of Hero's Pose for Asana. And we're going to need 2 blocks from there if you have books. If you have anything else that will help to bring the earth closer, just grab those from there. We're going to go straight away with the right foot. So rather than taking a super long stride forwards, we're going to slide that foot a little bit closer than it usually would be. We're going to take our dragon series from there. So we're going to start to bend through the right knee and start to overreach. So you can see what we wouldn't usually. One is the knee going over the toes, but in this posture it's fairly controlled. And we can start to stretch out the back of the foot, the Achilles. So hands can either come down to the mat, or you can bring the earth closer and drop those hands onto the blocks. Holding it there. Breathing in and breathing out. Try to keep your heel down on this one. So if I was any further back, you can see I can't keep my heel down there. So work with what feels good and hold it there. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly start to lift. Use those blocks coming onto the highest level of box. So again, just fingertips. Move that front foot forwards and we're just going to come into that high lunge. So a variation of a high lunge. So tucking your tailbone under. Again, hands to the blocks. You can lower yourself through a little bit more if that feels good, but a reminder to keep everything pulled in nice and tightly so you're not just sinking and dropping in. You're nice and strong as you lower hands to the block, shoulders away from the ears, and hold the stretch. You can always walk the front foot forwards a little bit more. The knee should be tracking over the pinky toe side. And again, add some weight into that back foot. That can help protect the knee on that left hand side as well. Holding it there. Shoulders away. Barely any weight in those fingertips, just guiding you. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to start to move the hips backwards. The blocks or your fingertips can come with you. And coming into that half split, so a Hanuman split. Either curling the toe or keeping the foot down and bending through the knee, or finding a little bit more of a straightness to the leg and holding there. If you have good flexibility in your hamstrings and range in your hips, you might find that you can take the leg a little bit further away, and you might find you can place the block or that buck underneath the hip and the hamstring there. Totally up to you how that feels and what you work with today. Holding there for that hamstring stretch. Try not to lower yourself down and just sit back. Try and keep up a little bit higher. Sending the hips backwards rather than down. Inhaling. Exhale, flex or point the toe. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Walk those blocks forwards. As you do that, you're going to drop into the inside of the foot and come into that low dragon or a low lunge. So the hands can come onto the blocks, the forearms. If you usually find that your knee likes to drop out, perhaps today you draw it in. If you find it's the other way, that the knee likes to draw in, perhaps you just allow it to drop out a little bit more and find space in those hips. Again, try and go with a nice flat back. Keep pressing firmly into the back foot so you can almost lift off that knee, just realign, readjust, and hold it there. Use the blocks, use your forearms, fingertips. Last breath. So when you're ready, begin to lift up onto the hands again. Perhaps you move the block front hand just out in front of you. We're going to take our twisted lizard, so we're going to turn that right foot onto the diagonal. From there you're going to turn and do the same for your hand on that left side. And that just means we're going to open the shoulder so the eye of the elbow faces forwards. From there you can either roll onto the outer edge of the foot or just keep it there and either hold onto the hip and open through that right shoulder, right chest, or you can begin to press away through that right hand. Again, I'm keeping contact with the back leg, the back foot, and breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. If you need to come down at any point, take some weight off the knee. Mindfully drawing the right knee back in. Again, using the block for the left hand if you need it, bringing the earth closer. From there, you're going to sweep that right hand all the way back and around. Keep drawing the right knee in, or again, work with the opposite of what you usually would do. Test yourself. Try and stay in this pose for that little bit longer. The option is to come up a bit higher if that works for you. And again, the option is to take a bound variation. So taking hold of that back foot. Pressing the foot away from you to open through the chest. Using your breath if you're able to. The breath should be steady, the same as the posture, continuous, should be easy. Not forcing the breath or forcing the posture. And then when you're ready, release the back foot, releasing the hand to the mat. You're going to curl that back toe under And from there, hands either side of the front foot. Just begin to straighten a little bit if you're able to. Again, you can use the blocks for this. Bend through the front knee and step that left foot in to meet your right. Taking hold of opposite elbow, bend through the knees and come into that forward dangling pose. And again, this is your variation of these poses today. So we're going to be here probably a little bit longer than we usually would be in an Uttanasana or forward fold if we're taking it past the sequence. So hold, work with your variation. Perhaps you straighten and you just find length on an inhalation. And on the exhale, you lower yourself back down and get a little bit deeper. Maybe lengthening, straighten the legs, or taking hold of opposite elbow again. You might even find that it's nicer today to take the hands round the backs of the legs and take a bind. Holding it there, inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Hands back to the mat. Take a little inhalation and a lift, a halfway lift, Ardha. Exhale, lower. When you're ready, begin to slide that right leg behind you. Drop down onto the back knee and then take those blocks once again either side of the front foot. As you do that, you're going to slide that left leg back just enough for the left foot to come into that first stretch of the overreaching. So you can let that back toe go and then just work through that side, so stretching out your calf muscle, or part of the calf muscle, the Achilles, back of the foot. And you might feel the stretch the longer you stay in there. So again, it might be your instinct is to come out of it, to lengthen your stride. If you can, stay with it. Notice the long-term effect when you hold something for a little bit longer. And then when you're ready, as you lift, you're going to begin to slide the foot forwards and come into the variation, the higher variation, so lifting yourself up and out, tucking your tailbone, fingertips either side, drawing the left knee out to check over the little toe again, shoulders drawing back and down, belly drawing in. And if you'd like to, there is that opportunity just to lower yourself down a little bit more. Lifting up and out, begin to move the blocks backwards with you, straightening through the front leg, left hip moving back, flexing through the toe into that half split, the chest, belly falls forwards. Again, try not to just sit back in the pose. There's the option of making it longer, coming into more of a full Hanuman stretch, perhaps taking that block underneath the hip again, walking yourself through. You might even curl the toe under of that back leg. And again, flex, holding it there. Going a little bit deeper, remember those blocks have 3 different levels. As you move your weight forwards, begin to move the blocks with you and come into that low lizard. Forearms onto the blocks. Work with either drawing the knee in or letting it just drop a little bit. You can of course again press through the top of the foot. Just readjust for the kneecap and hold it there again. So strong stretches around the hips. Keep breathing in and breathing out. you're ready, you can start to move those blocks, come onto the fingertips. We're going to take that twisted lizard, so again the left foot goes to the outer diagonal, the right hand thumb faces forward, so again we open the eye of the elbow. And then we're going to push ourselves, perhaps coming onto the knife edge of that foot, pushing the leg away, opening through the hip, opening through the chest, finding that space, being active in the back leg as always, pressing down through the top of the foot, holding there. And if this doesn't suit you today, you can always stay longer in any of the other lizard poses. Work around the hips. You may even find your forearm in this posture. And slowly make your way up, back onto the fingertips, maybe even drawing the block in for the right hand this time. As you lift and open up through the left arm, coming all the way behind you. Option to lift up that little bit higher and perhaps take the right hand to the thigh, or you can keep the right hand down and begin to catch the back left leg, opening into that bind variation. The foot pushes away so you open up through the left side of the body, the chest, the shoulder, gaze is behind you, or you can keep your gaze down if that feels good. Loose the block, keep the block, come down onto the forearm again if that suits you. And when you're ready, release, hold for a little bit longer, totally up to you. And then begin to rise and lift back up onto the fingertips. So as you do that, just move those blocks out of the way. Keep them either side if that suits, and then lift yourself up and out. Another extra stretch for the hamstring on that left side. Left hip coming back, right hip coming forwards. Soften through that left knee and step yourself back into your forward fold, dangling all the way over. Holding on to opposite elbow. Lifting through the inner arches of the feet, but still finding the four corners. Play around with adding a bit of weight into the balls of the feet. See how that feels. And move your weight back into your heels. And again, see how that changes the stretch for you. In this pose, just come back to your intention for the practice. Perhaps come back to our theme of tapas and that fire, that devotion that you have. Are you finding it difficult today to stay in these postures for long? Is there some resistance? Or are you enjoying holding for a little bit longer than you usually would do? When you're ready, hands onto the shins or onto your mat. Just come into that halfway lift. Take your time. And then start to walk or take long stride all the way back into your down face dog. Work with your alignment, again, take your time, fingertips spreading wide, move the hips a little bit, find the length through the spine, drawing the rib cage in, chin to chest, gaze is all the way between the thighs or at your belly button. From there you're just going to take the right foot behind you again, just to that crossover, and see if you can add more weight into, from there, the right foot, feel the stretch on the outer edge of the left side. Equal weight in both hands and in the shoulders. Moving the right foot back over, coming back into down dog, even taking a wider down dog today, that might work for you. And then taking the left foot behind the right, crossing the legs, pressing down through the left foot, and again just noticing that stretch on the outside of the right hip. Right glute, right hamstring, IT band. Breathing in, breathing out. Moving the left foot back, Coming back into down face dog, feet lovely and wide. Waving the body forwards into high plank. And from there we're going to drop onto the knees. And lower our belly all the way down to the mat. So take your time again to do that move with ease. As you do so, you're going to slide the hands forwards, coming into your Sphinx pose. Gazes forwards. Feet, any issues with the lower back, you take those feet wider. Let the hips go. And if you know, because we're working with a deep stretch today, if you know you have more, you can begin to turn the thumbs to face forwards, fingertips away, and lift yourself higher into your seal pose. Eyes to the elbows forwards, chin slightly tucked into chest, so it's parallel with your mat. Gazes forwards, holding it there. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. And exhale. Begin to lower yourself all the way down to the mat. The hands are going to slide behind you, forehead down, palms facing up. Let the lower back just settle for a moment. And then on your inhale, begin to lift through the legs. Perhaps you draw them together or you keep them apart. And then you lift the hands behind you. Holding there. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower. Hands are going to come through. You're going to lift yourself just enough to be able to sweep that right hand across and the left hand over the top. So you're creating a cross with the arms. The palms are going to face down and you're going to hold there. The higher you can get those arms, the more the intensity of the stretch. Holding there, breathing in. Breathing out. So you should feel that at the back of the shoulders, across the back, middle of the back. Perhaps you walk the hands a little bit more and you increase the stretch. You drop the forehead down. And then we're going to unravel. So if you have that right hand underneath, the left hand pressing through the right, the left hand is going to open you all the way out into a T-stretch, a spinal twist. So the left hand comes all the way over, right hand coming forwards, and you have the option of sweeping from there, that left leg nice and high, and taking hold of the left leg, left foot with the right hand. Maybe you use your toe lock to take hold, palm faces down, belly drawing in. It may be that you just drop the knee down and you take your right hand, drawing the leg down. So a variation of your spinal twist that works for you today. If you can get that little bit deeper than you usually would, perfect. Shoulders down and relax. Head down to the mat, back of the head down. Last breath. As you release the leg, let it sweep back down, let the left arm come all the way back over. You're going to come back into your Sphinx pose, your seal pose, low cobra, a variation of your lower back bend today. Holding it there. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Lowering yourself down. Taking a moment for the lower back to settle, or if you know your lower back is good, you draw those feet together, the hands slide behind you. Perhaps you lace the fingertips this time and you rise, come up into locust variation. As you lower down, hands come back underneath the shoulders, left hand underneath, right on top this time, palms facing down, and you squeeze those shoulders together, coming into that cross twist of the upper back and the shoulders. Two breaths to go. You can always place a block down for the head to take some of the weight away. And then as you unravel, release the right arm. The left palm begins to turn up. You can rotate that right arm all the way out and begin to slide that right knee upwards. So maybe you have a little bit of an extra wiggle to come onto your mat. Taking hold of that right leg this time with the left hand, coming into that deep spinal twist. Holding it there. Full breath, inhaling into the belly and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Two breaths to go. Begin to release the leg, sliding it back down to your mat, rolling yourself over through the right arm, taking your hands underneath the shoulders and lifting, curling the toes, lifting yourself all the way up and down into child's pose. Now this child's pose for you might be really nice, wide-legged, more like a frog's pose, rocking yourself through. Fingertips walking out again, forehead to the mat, or you can gaze forwards with the chin to the mat, turning the toes out or keeping them tucked under. Begin to roll up through the spine. Dropping into Virasana, perhaps just rolling the calf muscles out. Knees can come together or keep them apart. A very deep stretch in itself, so if it works for you and you want to be seated on top of the feet, perhaps you're seated on your feet or a block, or you may just come into a comfortable cross leg. Shoot forwards, inhale, both arms come all the way up. Exhale, take a spinal twist in this posture. So left hand to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, right hand over to the left, outside of the calf, the knee. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands back through heart center. I'm going to give you an option from there. You can either stay in Virasana and work your way backwards, tucking the hips under onto the forearms, perhaps lowering the head back first, crown of the head, and then lowering all the way down onto your backs. Arms can be over the head as long as the lower back doesn't rise too much. Or palms facing up, right by your hips, and beyond past the thighs. So you can stay there if that is too much for your knees, too much for your lower backs. Rather than coming into Supta Virasana, you're going to roll those feet around. Make your way down and back into Supta Baddha Konasana. So this time the knees are allowed to roll outwards rather than being internally rotated. Hands can come onto the top of the thighs or underneath the thighs, roll the shoulders back. If it's good for you, there's always the option again of taking the hands over the head, perhaps allowing the fingertips to touch into that diamond shape, replicating the shape of the legs. And close down the eyes here. Again, wherever you are, if you're in Satyagrasana or Supta you let gravity do its work to open through the hips, the hip flexors, the abdomen, your chest. Find your natural breathing again. And try to stay in this pose. So again, there will be resistance. No, there's no long-term fixes, there's no short-term fixes, especially in yoga. It takes time and dedication on the mat to see those changes in the mind and in the body. So I'm going to offer you up to stay here for as long as you like, as long as you're able to, but know that you can come out, returning to your traditional Shavasana corpse pose variation, extending through the legs, the fingertips, taking your toes to the very far edges of the mat, or perhaps today what you actually prefer to do is to make your way all the way through to a comfortable seat. And we're going to take some breath work, meditation, mindfulness to close our practice today. So either in Shavasana or making your way into a comfortable seat, slowly working through a side variation, working through knees to chest, Apanasana. Finding a block if that's comfortable. Closing down the eyes, palms facing down, palms facing up, or coming into your lap. Take an inhalation in through the nose, full breath, full belly. Exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Body grounds, melts into the mat. So we're going to come back to our box breath that we started with at the very beginning of class. Inhaling for 4, retaining the breath for 4, exhaling for 4, and again holding for 4. When you're ready, inhaling for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 2, 1. Exhale. 2, 1. Hold the breath. 1. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. You If you're in your comfortable seat, just begin to bow the head, chin into chest. If you're in your Shavasana, you're welcome to begin to bring a bit of life back and make your way smoothly into your comfortable seat. Now we're just going to bring awareness back to our breath, an easy, comfortable breath, an inhalation through the nose and an exhalation out of the nose. So full awareness on your inhalation. Perhaps the awareness is towards the nostrils, the temperature of the breath and the inhalation and the exhalation. Or perhaps you bring your awareness to your belly and it's the gentle rise and fall. If the mind wanders or fluctuates, don't worry, just draw your awareness, your attention back to your breath. Know that that's absolutely normal, it's natural for that to happen. Just let those thoughts just drift by. From there, I'd like to move your awareness, your attention to another noise perhaps in the room. Maybe you're outside. Full awareness, full attention to that sound. With no reaction, no thought process to that sound. It's merely just all part of your experience. Notice how that you are not in control of that sound. It comes and it goes. Perhaps the frequency changes, the volume changes, the pitch. So there's nothing for you to react. Again, if the mind has wandered, just listen back out for that particular sound. Slowly drop your chin back into the chest. Allow your attention to come back to within yourself, to your own breath. And draw your thumbs all the way through to your sternum at heart center. As you draw your awareness back into your body, just notice how you feel. Notice how the body feels, how the mind feels. If there's any emotion coming up, or if you just feel good within yourself in this moment and capture that. Notice if you want to move still, if you're reluctant to sit and stay. And that is all, again, just part of the experience. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Lifting your thumbs all the way through to your third eye, right between your brows. Going back to your intention, your purpose for the practice. Showing yourself some gratitude and some love for coming onto your mat today. Living your life to its fullest, embracing your life with passion, bowing to the divine in each and every one of you, saying thank you as always for coming onto your mat. Namaste.